So the next one after that, we are going to be doing activation. So we're gonna have internal hamstring curl. This is actually focusing on strengthening that medial hamstring rather than that lateral hamstring, which we've been trying to inhibit. So what we are going to use is an ankle weight, a 5-pound ankle weight. I'm gonna put it on here. I also am gonna be standing on a yoga block. The reason for that is I want to be able to have full range of motion and not having a hip hike, keeping those hips neutral and just activating that hamstring. So I am gonna turn it this way here, stand on that, and we have just a little bit of leeway room. So we are going to internally rotate that hip without hiking, keeping those hips neutral, using that core to limit that anterior and posterior tilt. Internally rotate the hip, and now we're gonna curl the heel up towards the glute, hold for 2 seconds, and then slowly return in a 4-second eccentric contraction back to neutral. And then kicking back up, hold for 2, drop down towards the floor. Contract up, hold for 2, and slowly drop it down towards the floor. This is 4, I believe. Back down. 5, back down. 6, back down. 7, back down. 8, back down. 9, back down. And you can just see that I had a little bit of an anterior tilt slowly happening. Last one. So making sure that those hips stay neutral. So those would be each leg, 3 sets of 10 repetitions with a 5-pound ankle weight. Next one that we're going to do is something called a terminal knee extension. I'm actually gonna grab my little stool here. And this one can be done, we're gonna lift this up nice and high so that my feet don't actually touch the floor. I'm also going to grab the foam roller just for stability. So with the 5-pound weight, we're also going to be using that on the ankle. What we're looking to do is actually stimulate that VMO, that vastus medialis obliquus, and that does the last few degrees of terminal knee extension. This also can be done on a cable system. If we wanted, instead of doing a full knee extension, that's going to activate too much of the quadricep. If we are looking to just specifically work on that VMO, we can do this on a cable system where they're standing, cable system is hooked around their knee, they start in a bent position, and they do those last few degrees of terminal knee extension, squeezing that quadricep with resistance, about 40% of their body weight. Because lack of equipment, I'm going to be doing the terminal knee extension in this way, but I do prefer the terminal knee extension to isolate that VMO right in this spot here, or right with the cable, I'm sorry. So in this way, we're going to sit up straight, make sure we're not super anteriorly tilted, not super posteriorly tilted, activating those shoulders to keep them down, not up towards the ears. We're going to kick that heel up. We're actually going to create that almost bent situation. Then we're going to use the VMO to do the last few degrees of terminal knee extension and wait for that little slight burning sensation, which takes about 2 seconds for that 2-second hold. We're then going to slowly, eccentrically drop that knee down. So create that bent situation, use the VMO, squeeze that VMO, hold for 2 seconds, and then slowly drop it back down. So we're going to do 10 of these. Kick it up, and back down. Kick it up, and back down. We're on 5, and back down. Kick it up, and back down. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to do 3 sets of 10 repetitions with a 5-pound ankle weight. One thing that we want to be careful of and cautious of is a lot of times athletes get tight in those areas. We don't want to statically stretch those areas after they're done being activated. We want to make sure that those muscles are becoming activated because that's where our imbalance is happening. So we want to make sure when we statically stretch those overactive areas and activate those underactive areas. So the next one that we're going to do is we're going to move to the integrative section. And a lot of this actually I like to do with bands. We're going to be doing a